Hi everyone, welcome to our poetry recital lesson. So now, how do we recite a poem in a really interesting fashion that is going to appeal to our whole audience? The very first thing is to choose the correct poem. Make sure you choose a poem that you like. It's no good doing a poem that you don't like at all, otherwise it's not going to work for you. The next thing, get your poem printed out, and now you're going to mark your poem or score your poem. All that means is that you're going to be underlining any words that you think are super important that you want to emphasize and make stand out from the other words. The other thing that you can do is mark where you think you want to go a little bit slower, where you would like to speed up a little bit. There might be parts where you would like to mark it to be a little bit louder, and there might be parts that you want to be a little bit softer. The next thing you're going to do is look where all the punctuation marks are in your poem. Poems are made up of separate lines, and sometimes there's no punctuation at the end of a line. That means you must carry on through that line to the next line until there is a punctuation mark to make you stop. So you don't have to stop at the end of every line. If you do stop at the end of every line, you tend to end up with a real sing-song pattern, something that sounds like this: da-da-da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Now that becomes a little bit monotonous for the audience and they don't really enjoy it. The next thing that is very important is that you find your own pace. Now the pace is the speed with which you say your poem. Now remember that a poem has got a beginning, a middle, and an end, and you don't want your audience to miss out on any of those three elements. So you need to speak slowly enough for the audience to be able to absorb all the information that you give them. Make sure as well that you use good diction. Now diction is how you actually say your words. Move your lips. I don't want you to speak with your lips closed like this because people can't hear what you're saying. You need to also make sure that you are very clear at saying the ends of your words. So for example, if you were going to say the word wind, you need to pronounce the D, wind. Okay, so you will be a little bit more exaggerated in saying your words. Remember that poems have got limited words, so you need to say every single one of those words very clearly because every word is important. It's also very important to have a little bit of movement in your poem. You don't want to be stiff like an ironing board and not move a muscle because that's not very natural. You also don't want to over gesture where you say things like, I saw the sea and then I drove along the long road, because then that gets too much. You can't have too many actions. So you have to find a little bit of a balance, a little bit of natural movement, but not being like a stiff ironing board. If you are not sure how to place your hands, tuck your elbows in and clasp your hands together. And when you need to use your hands, then you will be able to talk with your hands as well and do the gestures that you want to do. Once you've planned what you're going to do, you need to practice before your performance. The more you practice, the better you're going to become. And the better you're going to become, the more confident you will be, and the more relaxed you will be in front of your audience, and the more your audience will enjoy your performance. The most important thing of all is that when you're doing your poem, you need to be having fun. So I hope that helps you with your poetry tips, and we'll see you at the next lesson. Bye.